And welcome back to Chapter 20 of the My Pokemon Academia crossover. This is going to be a very short chapter. More or less, this chapter is now just following up from the previous chapter. So last time in the My Pokemon Academia What If, Deku, Asui, and Shinso had been traveling since their encounter with All For One and everything along those lines, and they ran into Kendo, Tetsu, and Monoma. And Monoma, and being the arrogant little prick he is, said, "Oh, why don't we have a 3-on-3 battle?" All that. So their battles took place. Asui battled Kendo, Tetsu battled Shinso, and now it's Monoma versus Midoriya. Now, in terms of how this setting is taking place, I did mention that it was starting to get close to evening, starting to get close to dusk as they were traveling. Well, now the sun is getting ready to set, and they point out, Asui even points out, like, maybe we should consider going, or holding us off until maybe in the morning. I mean, it's starting to get kind of dark. It's like, no, why not? A real trainer should be able to fight anywhere. Isn't that right, New Leafer? It's like, yeah, it's fine. And Midoriya just kind of growls, but then he kind of softens a bit and smiles at his girlfriend. Just says, yeah, it's fine, Asui. We'll be able to. We'll manage from here. I was like, well, all right, if you insist. Oh, it looks like someone's getting cocky. Don't. You really shouldn't be let your status go to your head. And Midoriya is just getting more and more just annoyed with this guy. It's like, this guy really thinks he's better just because he's where he's from? Does he really hate me just because wherever? I was like, what kind of idiocy is that? It's like, oh. And basically, Midoriya just says, all right, fine. It's like, all right. Kendo goes up. One-on-one, just like before, and this will decide it, who wins. When you're ready to go, all right, Eevee, I choose you. And Eevee, quite a unique Pokemon for a choice. But let's show you that your uniqueness means nothing. I choose you. Ditto. So Ditto is the other Pokemon I put on Monoma's team. Well, not the other Pokemon. He actually has, I think, how many Pokemon did I actually give him? Now I think about it. I don't believe any of the Class 1Bs have a full team. No, actually, I take it back. Monoma does, in fact, have a full team. I'm not saying the other one's on his team right now, but he does have a full team. And Ditto, obviously, for Monoma with his ability to copy, made 100% sense to put on there. And Midoriya's is like, a Ditto, oh, this isn't going to be good. And it's like, I can sense it. You're frightened, aren't you? Yes, my Ditto's power is something quite to be feared, after all. Ditto, transform! And then Eevee turns into Eevee, obviously. And the fight begins. So Ditto transfers, and they both clash with a quick attack, both calling out. They both basically trying to rebound off each other. Eevee uses Shadow Ball, but Ditto is able to dodge it. It kicks up dust. Ditto fires a Shadow Ball into the cloud, only to be hit by Swift, and the Shadow Ball just passes right through Eevee. Because Monoma, let's be honest, Monoma, as unique and it's kind of powerful as Monoma is, he's actually not as. I've seen articles that kind of point out he's got a clear inferiority complex problem. And it's clear that he's also not the brightest. There's a reason when you remember the quirk training that they were doing, he was the only one who got held back at the end of the class as he, along with me, because he didn't pass his exam. So I would have really imagined that he would be stupid enough to try to Shadow Ball on Eevee. And then, Tetsu even is oddly enough the one who points out, like, yo, Monoma, dude, it's a ghost type move. Those don't work on normal dice. Oh, right, of course. I just decided to mess around with you a little bit. Isn't that right, Eevee? Or Ditto, Eevee, or Eevee, or Weepy. There's my best Eevee. Deku, but as the fight, basically, but as he says that, Midoriya just finally is like, what is your deal? Why do you think you're so much better than me? Just because of where you're from? I'm not the one who thinks they're better than his opponent. That would be you, New Leaf. But don't lump me in with you. You don't get it, do you? And Deku actually calls him out too, and even uses some slightly harsh language. You don't get it, do you? You douche. And to which Mono was actually a little surprised about it. And even there, or you are maybe not douche. That wouldn't really seem like a Midoriya word to use, but you ass. You know what? Because this Midoriya has a bit of a, more upfront, slightly less take bullshit kind of attitude. I'll use ass. Ass seems good. Why are you're the it's like, you don't get it, do you ass? And it's like, the Moto actually is taken back by it. It's like, he's been called that before. It says, but not to an opponent, not by an opponent. Most opponents just kind of get, kind of just, get all huffy with him, but they just says like, fine. It's like, no, we did whatever. And it's like, his companion usually say, oh, please forgive him all that. No, Midoriya's not having it. Like, you got it backwards. You're the one who's judging. You're the one who's the problem. The guy judging judging me here. It's like, who thinks he's better than everyone? It's like, me better than you. Maybe then some new leafer with a superiority complex. I'm sorry, I'm not. Ever since, I'm sorry, but of the two of us, who's been the one judging the other one by where they came from since they got here? Got here. Who's been the one projecting that they were better than them, their opponent, since they got here? And if you want the answer, just look right in the mirror, buddy. It's like, you're a hypocrite. You think you're better than everyone else simply because of where they come from, not you, or not where you come from. And it doesn't matter how good a trainer you are or how bad of a trainer I am. That's all you're ever going to be until you can get this little superiority complex you have out of the way. And that really pisses Monoma off, because no one has. Think about this, and I'm going to go on a little tangent here, not for very long, maybe a minute or two. But Monoma is designed to be a character you don't like, and don't get me wrong. We like not liking him. Unlike Mineta, who we just don't like at this point. Mineta got one cool scene with Midnight. That was it. Mineta just needs to kind of go away. But Monoma is a character who's designed to specifically not be likable because of that superiority complex ego trip, completely berating people for no good reason. And no one has ever actually called him, like, as far as I can tell in the manga, no one has actually looked him in the face and told him why he's. I mean, they told him to shut up and all that stuff and just, stop being a jerk. But they've never looked him in the face and said why he's wrong for doing what he's doing, why he's such an asshole. No one's ever looked him in the face. I mean, maybe they have off screen, but Kendo always just chops him in the neck and all that. So. No one's ever looked at him and just said, look, dude, you're actually as bad as you're worse than what you're making us out to be, because we don't berate your class for, because of what class they are. They're clearly just as good as we are. It's just the way this grading system works. We made it into this class. You guys made it into that class. I'm sorry if that doesn't agree with you, but that's just the way it worked out. We are just as valid as you are, and vice versa. So get off that freaking high horse. Get the stick out of you. Realize your shit does stink, and freaking get off your cross, build a bridge, and get over it. So no one's ever done that. And I hope to God, when it's all said and done, someone, by the end of the series, someone takes them by the collar and just takes him by the neck and just tells his punk ass off. Now that I've gotten that out of the way. So anyway, Monoma, because of that, segueing back into this, because someone actually has the fortitude to actually say that to his face. Like, Monoma is actually taken a little back by this and realizes, like, okay, maybe he's right, but I'm not going to freaking admit it to a new leaf and say, is that right? Oh, I'm the one who's a hypocrite. Well, it won't matter after Ditto completely takes your cute little ball of fluff down. Ditto Swift! And remember, Swift hits. So Eevee uses Swift to block Ditto, but Ditto comes back with Quick Attack and then uses Bite on Eevee. Actually tosses Eevee around a little bit, and then just starts spamming Swifts at Eevee. Just wee. It's like, oh man, Eevee is like, wow, I've never seen Monoma go at the start. Should we stop this, Kendo? He actually is coming off a little cruel here. It's like, I'm tempted to. It's like, don't you stop this match. It's like, Eevee and I aren't done. And it's like, you give it up, New Leafer. There's no way you can beat me. It's clear, you claim not to be as bad as you say, but your ego is clearly getting in the way. You should know you should give up right now. Um, After all, you don't want your poor little Eevee your poor little partner here to get more damage than he already is. Even right, Ditto, and throws another Swift at him. And then Midoriya's like, yes, don't you underestimate us just because of where we come from. You talk about being the best, but you're nothing but a smug, arrogant prick. And now you're torturing my Pokemon just because you can't handle the truth. But you're nothing more than an ego-tripping bully. And I hate, and me and Eevee hate bullies. Eevee, come on, you can do it. I believe in you. No, wait, well, let's take this guy down together. And then Eevee just struggles, but Eevee's got this look in his eye like, Weevee! And, Eevee's ready to go. And once you know, it's pretty much night at this point. And that boost of confidence, that bit of belief, and where their levels happen to be at right now, Eevee starts to glow. It's like, Eevee? And it's like, what? And then Monema's like, huh? What's going on? It's like, whoa, is Eevee? Yeah. It's like, wow, how about that? She's like, looks like Eevee's evolving. And Eevee evolves into Umbreon! Now, I mentioned why I chose Eevee, the potential of Eevee, the potential of Deku. But there was a secondary reason I chose Eevee because of what Eevee would evolve into. And when I thought of this, I immediately thought of a battle between Monoma, because in the one of my favorite arcs actually, the joint training arcs, Monoma and Midoriya face off. And in that face off, Midoriya activates Black Whip, and he activates the Black Whip quirk. And I wanted a Pokemon that represented that. And obviously, you're not going to get the exact thing out of Umbreon per se, but it's a dark type. Black Whip's a dark move. Literally, it looks dark. And given the right technique, Eevee still knows Shadow Ball, which is a dark energy ball. It can learn things like Dark Pulse. So I felt Umbreon was actually a really good option for Midoriya. And so to represent Black Whip quirk, I chose that. Now, as the series has progressed, Midoriya has finally gained controlling access to float. Fortunately, Metagross and Metang both float, so that's covered as well. But meanwhile, it's like, now Monoma's actually scared because Eevee can't transform again. He could return Eevee, but that means he loses the match. So now he's kind of like, doesn't matter, I can still beat you. Now Shadow Ball can work finally. Shadow Ball, Ditto, Weavy, and fires at Umbreon. And then Umbreon, and even though Umbreon evolved, it still is on low HP. He's like, Umbreon, get out of the way! But Umbreon doesn't move. Instead, Umbreon actually its rings glow, and light actually shines down on it. And even though the Shadow Ball straight out hits, poof. First off, ghost type moves aren't that strong against dark types. So again, Monoma doesn't quite think on this. But Umbreon is glowing, the rings glow, and it glow almost like a pinkish light. I don't know how this technique this attack is represented color-wise in the game, just because I haven't played recently. I mean, I have played the games, obviously. I just haven't played them as of late. But he glows, and some of the wounds are disappearing. Not fully, but he's gained back about 50% of his health. He used Moonlight. Now, Umbreon, when I looked at where the levels are in terms of my Pokemon, in terms of where they're in the story, I'm like, okay, at this point, if he evolves, he should learn Moonlight. So, because apparently Umbreon learns Moonlight upon evolving, and it's a very good restoration technique. He has to use Quick Attack in this case to learn it, but he does. And it's all right, sweet, all right, let's do this. By the way, I do remember that Ditto is a normal type as well, so technically Eevee Shadow Ball shouldn't have worked, but Midoriya was probably being smarter about it, using it for diversionary tactics. So, all right, Umbreon, Shadow Ball! It's like, oh, please, it's like, did you get Tetsu? Shadow Ball doesn't work on normal type Pokemon. I'm well aware that as it just passes through, Eevee Ditto, but hits the ground, it does an explosion. Then they're caught. Umbreon Swift. He gets hit by Swift multiple times. Now come and bite, and then grabs Eevee, Ditto Eevee bites and tosses it. And Swift, Ditto, you Swift, and they stars both. Don't keep it up, and then more Swift comes. But now the Umbreon's more evolved and has a much higher defense. They're not doing so much damage. So ultimately, he ends up overwhelming Ditto and takes the win. Everything calms down. And, Umbreon goes to Midoriya, and Midoriya says, "All right, Umbreon, we did it, Umbreon." I don't know what Umbreon sounds like. I haven't heard that in a while. But now that Midoriya's finally calmed down, Monoma returns as Ditto. He's just kind of contemplating, and he kind of walks over and says, Look, I'm sorry about some of the things I said, but trust me, I know I've been judged my whole life. But because I don't come from any trainer family or anything like that, I've been judged, looked down upon. But I made myself who the trainer I am now, and I hope to make myself stronger later because I want to prove them wrong. And it's clear you want to do the same. So look, and he holds out his hand to Monoma. It's just offer a friendship and all that. Good match. It was a good match, and I thank you for it. And Monoma's contemplating this, it's like, of course it was a good match. You were fighting me. I got sloppy. That's all it was. After all, it doesn't matter where you come from. I'm still better. We're still better than any of you folks. And all of a sudden, Kendo gets in there and just chops him. And actually, I can see it being like her Makuhita doing it, and I gave her a Hariyama. Sorry, her Hariyama just comes in after she helps heal it up, and Hariyama just it's like, sorry about that. I'm sure he really isn't as bad as he said, but I think something he said kind of struck a chord to him a little bit. It's like, it's fine. I can tell he's really not that bad of a guy, but he's also just kind of. It's clear he's got something going on. I'm sure. Don't worry. I'm sure he'll. Now that he's kind of been called out on that finally, maybe he might start to come around. But anyway, it was a fun match. Yeah, you guys ever want to go again? Be happy to take you on. Well, why don't we save that for the Pokemon League? It's like, oh, absolutely. I assume you guys are heading to Swampwood, right? Yeah, that's where we're going. What about you? We still gonna do some training after that. After that match, we need to do some improvements. So we'll probably meet up with you guys later down the road. All right, thanks. Like, Kendo, why'd you do that? So they head to to a Pokemon Center, which probably was nearby. Spend the night, and they keep heading on, and eventually they do make it through this boggy swamp they've been in, which is where they were. I didn't forget to mention that part. This kind of boggy, swampish area, leading to basically like an inland sea almost. Like it's not an actual sea. It's not even a saltwater lake, but it's large enough that it's a seriously large lake. Foggy, murky. This is Swampwood. It's basically like a fishing dock town. Where each of the buildings, if you remember, what was the name of the town in Sun and Moon? Basically on the final island, the town you enter at on the final island, it was basically like boats that represented the stores and stuff like that, and houses. That's kind of what this is, with one giant one sitting at the very far end of the dock town, which that is the gym. So that is where we're ending off this chapter. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superior Magic. What if anything new in the channel? Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you folks next time.